Thanksgiving is next week, and there are going to be a lot of MAGA moms and QAnon dads that are just left out in the cold. There's going to be a lot of MAGA family members that are having dinner over there, and there's going to be a lot of non-MAGA people having dinner over there if you choose to celebrate Thanksgiving. I was in the QAnon casualty subreddit, and I just grabbed a few posts, and these are all some wild posts. Maybe not wild, maybe just sad. So this person says, my fascist, racist, homophobic, misogynist father followed me on Insta this afternoon. After 4.5 years of not talking, for 1 microsecond, I allowed myself to think, maybe he's come around. Maybe he see how bad this all really is. Finally. No, he's worse. Cloud seeding, hurricane steering. Trump is the greatest thing to ever walk the earth, and whoever goes against him should pretty much be unalived. What the actual F? I'm crying my eyes out. I've spent nearly 5 years crying over him almost every day. I'm crying now, but no more after this. I'm going to effing vomit. I wrote a scathing piece that I posted in my story, which I'll give him a few hours to notice, and after that, he's being blocked. I can't believe this is my dad. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe this is my reality. There are no words. Even though I knew this is who he is for years now, there was a tiny seed of hope. That hope is shattered. I'm shattered. It's wild that his dad is all of these things, but I think that the Trump thing kind of magnified it some kind of way. So a couple of the comments, Kalo Husker says, it's really hard to emotionally connect with who our parents actually are. Parents are people, and like all people, they are not perfect. People are complex. Good people do bad things. Bad people do good things, and every mix in between. It's good that you are grieving and letting those tears see the light of day. It's also really good you are confronting this and blocking them. As hard as it is, only you can put your needs first. Grief like this can take a long time to fully process. Give yourself credit for working on it and for supporting yourself with all of this. Boxes of Rain, that's the OP, says, thank you. I wish I could respond more in depth. I'm just really upset right now, but your words mean a lot. Sleepy Vizsla says, you're not alone. My sister and I were disowned this week. Apparently, we're the ones in a cult because we don't want to worship a rapist. He's an effing physicist, PhD in plasma physics. He taught me to value science and logic, and now he's this. I'm so sorry. And then the OP says, I'm so sorry. I will never understand how genuinely smart people feel for this. Sending hugs to you and your sister. Here's the next post. This person says, I think I will make it. Says, hello, people. To add some context, I am Latina American. My father is my hero, a great person overall. But since 2 years ago or so, he started to bring up weird stuff out from the spiritual stuff he used to bring in, stuff related to politics. Then he started to bring stuff about deep state and Trump and things like that. Some months ago, I decided to look up the source of this info and found QAnon. I dived in and learned all about this conspiracy line. Soon I realized that my father wasn't just wrong, but immersed in one hell of toxic and rather stupid line of information. Instead of going no contact or having a direct confrontation, because from what I read, these Q people are very, very totalitarian. Is totalitarian a word? And will enclose themselves when faced. I started a tactic which consists of hearing him, argumenting, and finally implanting doubt and subtle hints that made him see some nonsense, which allowed him to discard aspects of the QAnon. Some weeks ago, I think I managed to make him stop believing the BS about countries being corporations of the deep state, that the channels he saw used real documents but misinformed about what those words in the documents actually meant. I also managed to make him stop believing that COVID was fake and that the vaccines carry microchips or whatever, or that cancer is actually a parasite or bacteria. However, I'm struggling at engaging his believings about the tunnel systems all over the world for human trafficking and matters about geopolitics like the war in Ukraine, about Ukraine being some sort of human traffic capital, and Russians being the ones trying to destroy this site. Mainly because I don't have evidence to show him, like about the tunnels. What do I show him? A photo of the underground just being rock? LOL, or Ukraine not having, whole ass farms of organs. I feel like I'm closer and closer to freeing him and snapping him back to reality, or at least out of the queue. I have hope, and I didn't lose a drop of faith on him and his progress. Any advice is welcome. The ecliptic Bish says, I don't know about the efficacy of where you posted, but I can say you have done more in convincing your queue than I have. So, congratulations, and hopefully, you can find answers to help with the rest. And the OP says, thank you, man. Your commentary implies that you did have progression with your fellow that fell into the queue. As long as you have progression, it's not over. Big steps or small steps, it doesn't matter. You are getting near and near to success. Good luck, man. I believe that cues aren't bad people, just victims, people that sadly got caught in a trap. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. If they have hateful or crazed thoughts, it's because they got brainwashed. That's a nice way to put it. They got brainwashed. Some of their hateful rhetoric can just be amplified by the cue. This person says, starting to feel like I'm the cue. They say, I usually feel like I'm pretty grounded in the real world. I have family members who helped the vaccine development with Pfizer, a close friend who is an epidemiologist who was sharing real time COVID data with us. I have financial records from before times that show me I'm spending less money now than before COVID with gasoline, utilities, mortgage, and only about a 20% bump to the food bill was worse, of course. My stocks in retirement are way up down. I'm surrounded by MAGA and Qs, and no matter what discussion happens, there's always a reason or excuse or article or YouTube video that proves them right. I use AP and Reuters for the news. I'm well aware of the foundation of geopolitics, and I can clearly see all the foreign interference on social media and the power plays by the rich people running the show. My freaking union is like 90% pro Trump. That's crazy right there. I'm really starting to feel like I'm the lunatic conspiracy theorist and should be aligning with the Trumpers for the better country, but I just can't grasp how any of those ideas will actually work or benefit the people. And now people not even affiliated with government or politics are getting involved in talking with foreign nation leaders with no consequences. Make it make sense. I know I'm a smart, grounded individual, but the people I think are wingnuts think themselves as smart, grounded people as well. I'm so damn confused with everything right now. This person is honing in on I'm really just starting to feel like I'm the lunatic conspiracy theorist. And Yeeted Apple says, ironically, these are pretty good indications that you are grounded and not going crazy. The ability to admit you are confused and have self reflection isn't something you typically see from someone deep into conspiracy theories. They are very confident in their delusions. If you are not familiar with it, look up the Dunning Kruger effect. Basically, the more you learn about something, the more you realize how much you don't know, which causes you to doubt yourself more. When you know little about something, you don't know how much you don't know, leading to false confidence in your knowledge. The OP says, small comfort, I suppose. The person says at the bottom, if you listen to the Ezra Klein podcast, he opened up the latest episode this way. It was so nice to hear someone spell it out like that. Yeah, I do think that many of these MAGA people, these QAnon people, are making other people doubt reality, and that's kind of wild these days. I got one more. It says, anyone's Q, tell them they didn't vote for Trump after you cut them out of your life. This person says, I recently cut off a Q friend after enduring endless rants and conspiracies about Kamala. She wasn't born here. She isn't black. She wants communism. She was the border czar. She's taking our guns, etc. She also posted nonstop reels about Trump derangement syndrome and pro-Trump accounts, parroting his agenda, anti-trans, mass deportation, MAHA, and she completely went off the rails with at least 20 pro-Trump reels per day, along with weird conspiracy theories about chemtrails, mind control, etc. I finally had enough and stopped communications, muted all her posts and stories. Then she made a public post about me, per a mutual friend, and how I cut her off because she voted for Trump. Then claimed she didn't vote for Trump. I am just guessing she is upset I ended our friendship. But it is just super weird to claim she didn't vote for him. If you post match all day long for months, I am to assume you voted for Kamala? No one? Is anyone else going through this with their Q/Trumper? Florida Celtic says, I live in Florida. Virtually everyone I've ever known voted for that absolute sociopath. Only about half of them will admit it. The rest just say, I didn't vote, while only saying or posting right wing talking points and propaganda. They're embarrassed and angry when pressed about it. The next person says, Louisiana here. My parent claims to have voted third party, which I know is an absolute lie. Like, why be embarrassed? Say it with your full chest. And then Whitey Wilbowie or Willabo says, I think there has been a percentage of people who voted for him each time, but were too ashamed to admit it. I didn't know that people were ashamed. I thought that they were out here saying things with their full chest. They seem really loud and proud online. So why are they acting all timid and embarrassed in real life? I do not know. People just seem loud to me. But let me know what you think. All of these stories, they just kind of caught my eye. People are going through some things right now, and many people are mourning the loss of their friends and family who are still actually alive. And they've been going through this ever since Trump came on the scene with this brand of hateful rhetoric. Politics has always been contentious, but this just seems like a different strand. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think of all of these. Don't forget to like,